Welcome again, dear listener. Tonight you drift once more into a gentle voyage of wonder and discovery. Here in the soft glow of your imagination, you're safe, warm and free to explore the deepest mysteries of the universe without ever leaving the comfort of your bed. As you settle in and feel your breath slow, let your mind open like a flower to the night sky. We will wander together through a world where time stretches and bends, where seconds slip like sand through your fingers when you move near the speed of light. You are not alone on this journey. I am here with you, guiding you softly, whispering stories of stars, space, and the strange beauty of physics. Tonight, we will unravel how time itself can change when you dare to chase the speed of light, and what secrets might wait for you in those elongated moments between each heartbeat. So close your eyes, dear friend. Let the quiet music of the cosmos cradle you. Breathe in the calm, and as the first stars of our story begin to shimmer, know that you are about to step into a dream where science becomes poetry and time itself begins to whisper. You drift in silence through a dark ocean of stars, where time itself seems to sway with the slow breathing of the cosmos. Each breath you take is deep, soft, and unhurried, like the waves rolling upon a midnight shore. You feel your own heartbeat marking seconds, but those seconds begin to lengthen, stretching beyond what you've ever known. Time starts to feel like warm taffy, pulling slowly, resisting the rush you once took for granted. As you glide faster and faster among the stars, you notice something odd. Your watch ticks more lazily, your pulse grows heavier, and minutes spill into hours. The faster you move, the more sluggish your clocks become, almost as if time itself grows tired of keeping pace with you. You think of raindrops sliding down a window in slow motion, each droplet dancing leisurely before joining the others. This is time dilation, whispering its presence into your very bones. You close your eyes and imagine Earth behind you, spinning quietly, each person moving through their day, unaware of your journey. Back home, their clocks tick steadily, seconds marching forward with unwavering discipline. But your seconds are no longer theirs. The faster you travel, the wider the gap grows, as if you and the rest of the universe are slipping into different rivers of time. You open your eyes and see stars rushing past in delicate streams of white and blue, their light bending as you speed by. Space around you grows stranger, the colours deepening and stretching, as if the universe is being painted anew just for you. It's here you begin to feel Einstein's revelation, that time and speed are tied together like partners in an endless waltz. You remember hearing the words special relativity, but the term feels cold and technical compared to what you now experience. This isn't an equation on a blackboard. This is a living, breathing reality. You feel it in your skin, in the slowing thump of your heart, in the heavy drift of your thoughts. Time is not a metronome set to the same beat for everyone. It is flexible, tender, willing to yield for those who dare to chase the speed of light. The stars around you begin to smear like wet paint on glass. You realize that if you could reach light speed, time for you would stop completely. A frozen moment where eternity stretches before you like a still lake reflecting infinity. Yet you know nature guards this cosmic boundary jealously. No matter how much you push, you will never truly reach the speed of light. The universe has laws, and this is one of its deepest. Light speed is the ultimate limit, and time dilation is its quiet sentinel. You run your fingers along the dashboard of your imagined spacecraft, feeling the hum of engines propelling you ever faster. You picture every atom vibrating with urgency. Outside, the universe appears more compressed, as if the stars are leaning forward to greet you. But inside, your own moments spill wider and wider. If you could look back at Earth, you'd see its clocks whirring at their usual pace, days passing, sunsets coming and going. Meanwhile, you float through elongated seconds, each heartbeat carrying you farther into the future. A soft voice inside you asks, how does your body measure time when time itself changes shape? Your cells, your thoughts, even your aging, they all drift with you, moving in step with your personal river of seconds. You think of astronauts orbiting Earth in the International Space Station, aging ever so slightly slower than their loved ones on the ground. It's a minuscule difference, but it's real. A quiet proof that speed molds time like clay in a sculptor's hands. You recall how, before Einstein, time was thought to be absolute, a rigid ruler stretching across the universe, the same for everyone, everywhere. But in the hush of deep space, you see how wrong that old certainty was. Time is not absolute, it is personal. The faster you move, the more it bends to your journey. Your time is yours alone. You drift deeper into your own thoughts. The stars now a swirl of muted colours and shimmering patterns. You realise time isn't just something that passes, it's something you can feel, like a pulse of the universe itself. And that pulse grows slower, softer, more languid as you approach the cosmic speed limit. Time dilation isn't just a scientific term, it's an experience, a lullaby of the cosmos inviting you to listen. You imagine being a photon, a single particle of light, born from the fiery heart of a star. For the photon, time doesn't exist. Its birth and its end happen at the same instant. It travels across the galaxy without aging, without experiencing the stretch of seconds. Could the secret to immortality lie in light's strange relationship with time? As you drift in this thought, you feel a shiver of wonder. Your gaze settles on a distant galaxy, a faint smudge of light barely touching your vision. How long has its glow travelled through the darkness to find you? Millions of years? Billions? And yet, if you sped toward it at near light speed, you could close the distance while experiencing only a few months or even days of your own time. You marvel at how time dilation can shrink the universe into something almost reachable. If only you could survive the journey. You sense how this bending of time isn't just an abstract curiosity. It has practical consequences even now. Satellites above Earth must account for time dilation to keep GPS accurate. Without adjusting for their high speeds and weaker gravity, their clocks would drift by microseconds each day, throwing our maps and directions into chaos. You realize that the quiet truth of time dilation touches your daily life more than you ever knew. Your breathing slows. Each inhale feels deeper, more expansive. The hush of space wraps around you like a soft blanket. You think of every traveller who has ever gazed at the night sky and wondered what secrets lie hidden beyond the stars. How many of them knew that time itself could flex and fold in the darkness? How many dreamed of chasing the speed of light, even if only in their minds? As your thoughts circle these wonders, you find yourself drawn to a question as old as curiosity itself. If time can stretch for you, could you use this to visit the future? Could you leave Earth behind, speed through space for what feels like a year, and return to find centuries of past? The idea feels both thrilling and lonely. What beauty and heartbreak might wait for those who slip forward through time? Your eyes flutter shut. In the silence of your imagined voyage, you hear the quiet tick of your slowed clock, like the soft beating of a distant drum. You feel time draping itself around you, patient, forgiving, and full of possibility. The stars whisper stories of what happens when you move so fast that time must yield. stories that invite you to dream of what lies ahead. And as your thoughts grow softer, you sense that your journey into the nature of time has only just begun. A deeper mystery calls to you, a question of what happens when you ride alongside light itself, as Einstein once dreamed. You let the thought linger, like the last note of a lullaby hanging in the quiet dark. You linger on the final breath of your last thought, where the question hums gently in your mind. What happens when you ride alongside light itself, as Einstein once dreamed? That quiet curiosity begins to swell, unfolding like dawn, spilling over the edge of night. You feel your mind lean forward, reaching for the first golden strands of a sunbeam that stretch across the dark. You remember reading that when he was only 16, Albert Einstein imagined chasing a beam of light, a daydream so simple yet so wild that it would forever change how we see the universe. Tonight, you slip into that very dream. The darkness around you shifts and softens, and you find yourself floating just behind a brilliant shaft of light, like a diver chasing a shimmering fish in the deep ocean. As you glide beside the beam, space becomes a soft, liquid canvas. The stars begin to smear into long, delicate threads of colour. The closer you match the light's speed, the stranger the world becomes. Shapes distort, lines curve, and colours bleed into one another, like watercolour paint swirling through clear water. Time, which felt syrupy before, now drips in thick golden drops, slower, heavier, almost suspended. You look ahead and see the sunbeam stretching infinitely before you, a narrow golden river winding through the void. You feel the impossible pull of two realities. The first is yours, where each heartbeat marks a stubborn second. The second belongs to the light, for whom time does not move at all. You can sense it now, how light's perspective is timeless, how a photon once born reaches its destination without aging a breath. Around you, the universe grows eerie. Colours shift into dark reds and deep violets as wavelengths stretch and warp. This is the Doppler effect at near light speed. Light in front of you blue shifts into harsh, brilliant energy, while light behind you fades to a ghostly red, retreating beyond your perception. Space itself folds and wheezes. It's as if you have become a needle slipping through tightly woven fabric, the threads of space bunching up ahead, relaxing behind. Your body feels light, almost unreal, as if the faster you go, the less your mass belongs to you. Yet the universe resists your chase. It grows heavier, with each fraction of speed gained. The nearer you approach light speed, the more the cosmos demands from you in energy, as if guarding the gates of the photon's domain. You understand now in your bones why the speed of light is nature's ultimate limit. It is not a finish line to cross, but a sacred boundary where time, mass, and distance twist beyond recognition. The stars ahead blur further, and you remember how Einstein's thought experiment cracked open an entire new physics. He wondered, what would you see if you could ride alongside light? Would the wave of light seem frozen beside you, its oscillation still, its energy held in a single eternal moment? The idea sounded absurd at the time, but it planted the seed for his theory of special relativity, a truth that time and space are one fabric, pliable, curved, and intimately connected to the speed at which you move. In the silence of your journey, you realize how deeply light itself shapes your world. Every sunrise is light's arrival from the sun 8 minutes ago. Every star you see is a memory from years or centuries past, carried faithfully by photons across the dark. Even the reflection in your mirror is made of light bouncing from your face only a fraction of a second ago. Light is not just illumination, It is the messenger of time. You wonder what light sees as it leaves a distant quasar, carrying the glow of ancient cosmic fireworks across billions of years, only to reach your eyes tonight. For the photon, that journey is instantaneous. Born in the inferno of a galaxy's birth, it kisses your retina without having experienced a single tick of time. Light in its own frame is timeless, and you, chasing alongside it, glimpse that eternity. Your thoughts drift back to Earth. You picture Einstein in his small Swiss apartment, papers scattered like autumn leaves across his desk. His eyes are bright, his mind ablaze with the possibility that time and space bend to motion. How could a teenager's dream, chasing a beam of light, become a foundation for understanding everything from GPS satellites to the birth of black holes? Around you, space continues to warp. The faster you move, the more distances compress. Galaxies that once seemed impossibly far away begin to gather closer in front of you, while those behind slip away faster than your heart can register. This is the relativity of simultaneity. Your now becomes different from others. Events that seem simultaneous on Earth are staggered in time for you. It's as if the universe has different clocks for every traveller, each one ticking at its own rhythm. You feel a curious peace in this realization. There is no single universal time, only countless personal times, woven together like a grand symphony of moments. Your own melody drifts slower and lower the faster you move, while someone else's on Earth plays faster and lighter. Yet together they form the harmony of reality. The beam you follow pulses with soft, white light. Its waves shimmer beside you like a frozen river of energy. You lean closer, trying to see each crest and trough, but the faster you fly, the less those oscillations move. If you could reach light speed, the wave would freeze entirely, holding still forever. The sunbeam's oscillations, its colour, its very identity, would become a frozen pattern, etched across space-time. You feel the quiet majesty of light's constancy. No matter how fast you chase, you can never outrun or catch light. It always moves at the same speed relative to you. This is the cornerstone of relativity, the rule that holds the universe steady and prevents time from unravelling into chaos. Light's unchanging speed is the calm heartbeat of the cosmos. You remember how Einstein's insight overturned centuries of belief. Before him, scientists thought time was absolute, like the ticking of an enormous cosmic clock. But Einstein showed that time and distance are not fixed, they stretch and shrink depending on how you move. If you could turn around now and head back to Earth, you might find that years, decades, or even centuries have passed there, while you felt only months slip by. A twinge of melancholy whispers through you at the thought. The power to ride near light speed would carry a heavy cost. Separation from everyone and everything you knew. In seeking the stars, you would leap forward in time, but leave your own world far behind. Yet the idea shimmers with beauty too. The possibility of seeing humanity's distant future, of stepping out of your time and returning to a changed world. The stars around you blink like soft candle flames in a silent cathedral of space. You feel the immensity of what you're witnessing, a universe where time is not a single road, but countless winding paths, all dependent on your speed. You think of how light connects every object in the cosmos, carrying information, painting reality onto the canvas of your mind. Your eyelids grow heavy as you drift with the sunbeam, the slow beat of your heart syncing with the steady, unwavering speed of light. Thoughts of Earth, of Einstein's youthful curiosity, of the strange truth that time and distance are lovers dancing to light's tempo, all these swirl together in the darkness. You wonder if the universe hides other secrets in light's quiet constancy. Perhaps in understanding light fully, you might understand time itself, or even glimpse what lies beyond time's reach. Your mind nestles into this thought, warm and soft as starlight on your skin. Your breathing steadies, matching the silent music of photons gliding beside you. The universe feels patient, willing to wait eons for your questions. You let the dream of riding light linger, the idea pulsing gently in your mind like a quiet, endless wave. And as your thoughts drift toward the nature of space and the fabric that weaves it all together, you feel a new question forming, a curiosity pulling you deeper. How does space itself bend and stretch when touched by mass and speed? The mystery hums softly, promising another chapter in your journey through the secret rhythms of time. Your breathing steadies, matching the silent music of photons gliding beside you. The universe feels patient, willing to wait eons for your questions. You let the dream of riding light linger, the idea pulsing gently in your mind like a quiet, endless wave. And as your thoughts drift toward the nature of space and the fabric that weaves it all together, you feel a new question forming, a curiosity pulling you deeper. How does space itself bend and stretch when touched by mass and speed? The mystery hums softly, promising another chapter in your journey through the secret rhythms of time. You imagine a pair of twins, born only moments apart, identical in every way, two hearts beating with the same gentle rhythm. Their childhoods unfold side by side, laughter shared under wide summer skies, secrets whispered in the dark, dreams of the stars dancing in their eyes. You feel the warmth of their bond, the tender threads that tie them together across every sunrise and every quiet night. Then you picture one twin stepping into a sleek spacecraft, its silver hull gleaming like moonlight on still water. Engines ignite with a soft roar, lifting the twin into the dark, a trail of light streaming behind. This traveller sails away at a speed so close to light that time itself begins to stretch like taffy pulled in careful hands. Each second for the travelling twin grows longer, heavier, moments filled with stars rushing past like silver rain. Back on Earth, the other twin lives a life of quiet constancy. Mornings bloom with familiar dawns, seasons flow from spring to winter in steady cycles, and years pass with the delicate march of ordinary days. The twin who stayed feels time slipping like warm sand through open fingers, each grain a memory of birthdays, autumn leaves, and evening breezes. You sense the gentle hands of time cradling this twin, moving forward with unwavering certainty. Meanwhile, the travelling twin moves deeper into space, stars streaking like soft threads across the night. As their ship nears light speed, clocks aboard slow until minutes become hours. Your heart aches for the traveller floating through an elongated dream, surrounded by the soft hum of the cosmos, while the twin on Earth grows older with every sunrise. You hear the quiet ticking of both twins' clocks, one slow and deliberate, the other fast and insistent. Each tick carries them farther apart, not just across distance, but through the very fabric of time itself. This is the paradox of the twins. When they reunite, one will have aged far more than the other. Time, which once bound them so tightly, has unravelled in different patterns across the universe's quiet tapestry. You picture the moment of their reunion. The travelling twin steps from the spacecraft, eyes bright with the shimmer of distant galaxies, only to find their sibling now lined with the grace of many more years. Wrinkles carved softly by time, hair silvered under countless moons. You feel the bitter-sweet weight of that embrace, the shared joy mingled with the strangeness of their separate journeys through time. You think of time as a soft river, flowing faster or slower depending on your path. Each twin rides a different current, one meandering gently under Earth's skies, the other rushing through cosmic rapids near light speed. Both believe they move through time naturally, unaware of the other's drift. It's only when they meet again that time's secret reveals itself. You reflect on how personal time truly is. You imagine your own seconds stretching or compressing based on where you stand, how fast you move, or how deeply gravity wraps around you. Time becomes less of a universal beat and more of a quiet melody, different for every traveller in the vastness of the universe. The twin story becomes your own, a gentle reminder that time is not an absolute ruler, but a companion who walks with you at your own pace. You feel the universe's patient breath as you ponder the paradox further. What does it mean for love, for memory, for promises made across stars? Would a twin travelling far from Earth return to find friends and family long gone, their world changed beyond recognition? You sense the quiet loneliness of such journeys, but also their wild, beautiful possibility. The chance to glimpse the far future of humankind in a single lifetime. You close your eyes and let yourself drift into the dream of the travelling twin. The ship's hum soothes you, the stars outside your window whispering secrets older than any memory. Planets bloom and fade in your path, nebulae curl like coloured smoke, and black holes loom as dark gates to deeper mysteries. Each heartbeat carries you farther, while time slows like a soft lullaby. Back on Earth, you imagine the twin who stayed, standing on a green hill under a silver moon, counting the stars and whispering wishes into the night. Decades pass as gentle waves of time, the landscape changing with the slow patience of wind and rain. The twins' eyes remain fixed on the sky, waiting for the day a bright star will streak across the heavens, the first sign of their sibling returning. You sense how the twins' story illuminates a quiet truth. The closer you move to light speed, the more time yields its steady grip, but only for you. The universe remains in its patient flow, but your own moments unfold differently. Time becomes both personal and relative, a quiet dance between your speed and the universe's constant pulse. You reflect on how this paradox shaped our understanding of physics. The twin story forces us to abandon old ideas of absolute time, teaching us to see the world as a patchwork of individual timelines. Each person, each clock, each heartbeat moves in its own river, sometimes converging, sometimes drifting apart. The twins remind you that reality is richer, more layered, more beautifully complex than any simple ticking clock. Your thoughts drift again to the cosmic tapestry of space-time. You see it stretching and warping with every mass in motion, each star and planet pulling gently on the threads, each ship or comet weaving new patterns in the dark. The twins are like two needles sewing separate paths into that cloth, their reunion a quiet point where those threads cross once more. As you breathe deeper, you feel how the paradox holds more than a riddle of physics. It carries a lesson of patience, wonder, and humility. It shows how the universe balances its strange rules with the delicate beauty of time's passage. The twins' embrace at the end of their journeys becomes a symbol of how time, despite its shifting flow, can still bring us back together. You let the story of the twins settle softly into your mind, their laughter echoing like distant bells across the quiet night of space. You sense how their paradox will forever remind us of our place in a universe where time is not fixed, but as alive and changing as the stars themselves. You lie still, feeling your heartbeat slow, each thump a quiet promise that your own moments are precious, unique, and fleeting. The stars outside your imagined window glow softly, patient witnesses to every second you spend in their light. As your mind floats on the gentle currents of thought, you begin to wonder, if time can stretch with speed, could the very shape of space also curve with mass? Could the same fabric that holds your seconds also cradle the stars, bend under planets, and ripple with black holes? The question flickers like a soft lantern in the dark, inviting you to follow it deeper into the quiet mysteries of the cosmos. You lie still, feeling your heartbeat slow, each thump a quiet promise that your own moments are precious, unique, and fleeting. The stars outside your imagined window glow softly, patient witnesses to every second you spend in their light. As your mind floats on the gentle currents of thought, you begin to wonder, if time can stretch with speed, could the very shape of space also curve with mass? Could the same fabric that holds your seconds also cradle the stars, bend under planets, and ripple with black holes? The question flickers like a soft lantern in the dark, inviting you to follow it deeper into the quiet mysteries of the cosmos. Your breath catches as you become aware of your own heartbeat again. Each thud of your heart feels like a distant drum echoing in a silent cathedral. You sense how it marks the passage of time for you alone, a soft metronome singing your life song in a universe that spins at its own grand tempo. You listen, and every beat feels slower now, as if your pulse drifts like a feather on a still lake, floating in the strange stretch of time your speed has created. You imagine your heart as a lantern swinging gently in a dark forest of stars, each beat casting a soft glow that pushes back the night. You wonder, if you travelled far enough and fast enough, could each heartbeat carry you beyond the limits of your own lifetime? Could your heart become a vessel sailing you through centuries while only days pass in your personal time? The idea feels both terrifying and beautiful, a quiet secret whispered by the universe to anyone who dares to listen. You think of your heart not just as a pump, but as a storyteller, each contraction writing another word in the poem of your life. Here, among the stars, your heart writes slowly, deliberately, savouring each letter. Seconds stretch like warm taffy pulled between careful fingers, and moments become wide oceans of experience. Your body moves in a private river of time, untouched by the clocks on Earth spinning far below. You remember how the twin paradox revealed this truth, that time's flow depends on your journey, but it is your heart that proves it most intimately. While clocks on a wall or screens in a cockpit can be abstract, your heart is living proof that time is personal. You feel how your cells, your breath, your every thought follow the soft tick of your own seconds, even as the universe outside moves at an indifferent pace. As your ship accelerates, you picture your pulse slowing more, each beat like a low note of a cello reverberating across a quiet hall. The familiar rush of blood through your veins becomes a slow tide, your breaths deepening into patient waves that carry you farther from the ordinary cadence of Earth. Each inhale and exhale feels more significant, each pause between heartbeats more spacious, filled with the hush of infinity. You place a hand on your chest, fingers rising and falling with the swell of your lungs. You feel the warmth of life, the simple miracle that your heart continues its steady work, even as time stretches wider with every fraction of light speed you approach. You marvel at how your heart is both fragile and resilient, able to keep its own time when the universe itself seems to shift and bend around you. Your thoughts drift to astronauts who orbit Earth, where gravity and speed already slow their time by tiny amounts. Their hearts, like yours, beat in personal moments, slightly out of step with loved ones on the ground. The difference may be measured in microseconds, but it is a quiet, undeniable truth. Time can slip between people like a thin veil, nearly invisible but forever changing how we experience each second. You imagine your heart as a compass, always pointing to your present, no matter where or when you are. The stars outside us swirl in slow arcs, but your heart's rhythm keeps you anchored in your own reality. You find comfort in its steady music, a song older than the first human who looked up and wondered what lay beyond the night. You remember how your heart began its work before you took your first breath, beating in the watery darkness of the womb. It was the first sign of your story, the first measure of your personal time. Now, as you sail among stars, your heart continues that ancient task, a quiet clock that keeps time only for you. You think of how time dilation affects everything inside you. Your neurons fire more slowly in the eyes of an outside observer. Your muscles contract at a leisurely pace. Yet to you, nothing feels different. This disconnect between what others see and what you feel fascinates you. You sense how the universe can stretch time without changing the essence of your experience. Your thoughts remain your own, your heart's tempo as natural as ever. You feel awe at the simple power of your heartbeat to defy the rush of the cosmos. It reminds you that time's dance is deeply personal, that every creature in the universe carries its own rhythm. From the pulse of a hummingbird's heart to the slow, ponderous throb of a blue whale's, each life moves in a private current of seconds, like 1,000 rivers flowing in different directions through the same sea. You reflect on the paradox of stillness and speed. Your ship moves faster than anything you could imagine, yet inside you feel as if you're drifting gently in a warm, quiet cradle. The faster you go, the slower your heart's song becomes to the outside world. And yet, your experience is one of calm, unhurried moments, as if time itself has laid a soft hand upon your shoulder and whispered, "Rest. There is no rush here." You look out your imagined window, stars appearing more distant and faint as your speed increases. You wonder what it would feel like if your heart simply stopped in this infinite dark, if time could slow so much that your last heartbeat would stretch into eternity. The thought shivers across your mind like a cold breeze, but the gentle thud in your chest reassures you. You are still here, still breathing, still alive. You remember the Doppler effect, how your motion causes light waves to stretch behind you into deep reds and shrink ahead into fierce blues. You wonder if your heart's rhythm creates a similar ripple in time, a soft pulse echoing through the fabric of space-time, bending seconds into longer or shorter shapes depending on your speed. The image feels comforting, like your own music woven into the universe's grand symphony. You consider what your heartbeat means when space itself curves. Could the pull of a massive star or the yawning gravity of a black hole slow your pulse even more? Could your heart become trapped in a place where time itself nearly stops? The question glows like a candle in your mind, fragile but bright, illuminating the path ahead. You feel your eyelids grow heavy, your body relaxing deeper into the imagined cocoon of your ship. Each heartbeat becomes softer, each breath slower, as if the universe has settled into a patient hush just for you. You sense how your heart, your timekeeper, continues its quiet work even as you slip further from the ordinary world. Your thoughts circle back to Earth, to people living their days unaware of how time's flow can shift with speed or gravity. You imagine your loved ones moving through minutes and hours, their hearts ticking steadily as yours drifts in slower, longer moments. You feel a tender ache, knowing that the same heart connecting you to life also separates you from the world when you venture so far, so fast. You let yourself sink fully into the rhythm of your pulse, its low, steady beat a lullaby, carrying you through the stars. Each thump becomes a note in a quiet symphony, each pause a gentle space for dreams to grow. You sense how your heart has become both anchor and sail, holding you in your own time, even as it propels you into the mysteries beyond. Your mind wanders to the question waiting at the edge of your thoughts. If your heart's rhythm can change with speed, what happens when gravity bends the very space through which time flows? Could your seconds become spirals, looping endlessly around massive objects? Could your heart beat slower and slower until time itself becomes a near halt? You breathe in the soft darkness, letting this question linger like the final note of a song hanging in the quiet air. Your heartbeat slows further, each thud a quiet invitation to follow the next mystery, to wonder how space, mass, and gravity weave together the very shape of time. Your mind wanders to the question waiting at the edge of your thoughts. If your heart's rhythm can change with speed, what happens when gravity bends the very space through which time flows? Could your seconds become spirals, looping endlessly around massive objects? Could your heart beat slower and slower until time itself becomes a near halt? You breathe in the soft darkness, letting this question linger like the final note of a song hanging in the quiet air. Your heartbeat slows further, each thud a quiet invitation to follow the next mystery, to wonder how space, mass, and gravity weave together the very shape of time. You drift deeper, feeling the warmth of your pulse carrying you into a quiet ocean of thought. Around you, the stars shimmer like scattered pearls across a black velvet sea. But something has changed. They seem to ripple and bend, as though the space between you and them is not a perfect emptiness, but a flexible fabric, a delicate cloth swaying under invisible winds. You remember how Einstein once described gravity not as a force pulling objects together, but as the warping of space and time itself. You imagine the universe as an immense, invisible sheet stretching out in every direction. When a star, a planet, or a black hole sits on that sheet, it presses down, creating a gentle dip or a steep well. Smaller objects roll toward the bigger ones not because they are pulled, but because they follow the curved lines of space. You picture Earth, a blue marble resting on this cosmic cloth, its mass gently dimpling the sheet so that the moon circles it in a graceful dance. You see your own body standing on Earth's surface, your feet pressing slightly into the planet's curve in space-time, your seconds ticking just a little slower than someone floating far away from gravity's grasp. You sense how every massive object sculpts the space around it, bending paths of light and streams of time. Starlight passing near the sun curves inward, its path like a ribbon drawn across a soft mound. You feel how this bending of light is not an illusion but proof that space and time themselves are woven together, inseparable threads in a single shifting tapestry. You imagine yourself floating above a massive star. From this vantage, space looks like a vast pond, and the star's weight sends deep ripples out in every direction. If you toss a beam of light across the pond, it curves along these ripples, travelling through warped space. And because time is woven with space, your seconds stretch too, each one slipping slower and longer, the closer you drift toward the star's core. You think of the delicate balance that keeps planets in orbit. They are not being yanked by invisible strings. They are simply moving along curved paths laid out by space-time itself. Like marbles circling a funnel, they roll endlessly in the valleys carved by their suns. You feel a quiet wonder at how the simplest motions, a moon orbiting a planet, a comet swinging by the sun, reveal the grand architecture of space-time's curves. Your mind traces the famous experiment during a solar eclipse, when astronomers saw starlight bend around the sun exactly as Einstein predicted. In that moment, humanity glimpsed the fabric of space-time for the first time, not with telescopes alone, but with an idea so beautiful it changed the world. You sense how these hidden curves guide every step you take, every second you breathe. You let your thoughts slow, following the graceful paths of light curving across the universe. You feel as if you're drifting on a gentle breeze through an endless forest, where the air itself bends softly around massive trees. Each star you pass sends ripples through the space you glide across, and your seconds swell or shrink with each ripple. You picture a black hole, the most extreme sculpture of space-time. Its mass presses so deeply into the cosmic cloth that it creates a pit with walls so steep even light cannot climb out. Near its edge, the event horizon, time stretches almost infinitely. You imagine hovering just above that dark boundary, your heart slowing until each beat becomes a near-eternal pause, your seconds spiraling outward like stretched taffy. You feel a shiver of awe at the thought. If you could watch a clock on the edge of a black hole, you would see its hands crawl slower and slower, freezing in place as they reach the horizon. Yet for someone falling with the clock, time would seem normal, each heartbeat unchanged, a private melody unfolding in a universe where everything else rushes by. You think of the countless black holes scattered through galaxies, silent sculptors warping space-time around them. Light from distant stars bends around these hidden wells, creating cosmic mirages called gravitational lenses. You picture rings of light encircling invisible darkness, images of galaxies stretched and multiplied by space-time's quiet artistry. You sense how even you, lying still in your bed, are part of this cosmic cloth. Your body has mass, and though small, it adds a tiny dimple to the universe's shape. Your heart's quiet drum nudges the fabric, sending faint ripples into the endless dark. Every person, every rock, every grain of sand weighs on space-time, each presence part of the grand weaving. You remember how time and space are not fixed backdrops, but living, dynamic threads. They respond to every mass and motion, curving and stretching to fit the story of the universe. This truth makes you feel both humble and connected. Your existence is not an accident in empty space, but a note in a vast symphony of bending, shifting reality. You imagine running your hand across space-time like fingers brushing a soft quilt. You feel hills and valleys where stars gather, deep pits where black holes lurk, and gentle ripples from planets moving in their quiet orbits. Each touch reminds you that space is not emptiness, but a fabric so subtle it carries the weight of time itself. You think of how space-time connects everything. If you reach out in your mind, you touch the moon, the sun, and stars across the galaxy through the same fabric. Distance becomes a question of curves and stretches, of seconds flowing differently from one valley of gravity to another. You realize you are never truly separate from the rest of the cosmos. You are cradled in the same woven cloth, your time bound gently to every shining point you see. You let the idea wash over you like a warm wave. Space and time are one, a single fabric called space-time. Where there is mass, the fabric curves. Where there is motion, time bends. Where there is light, its path follows the contours of this grand tapestry. The universe does not just exist, it shapes itself constantly, each heartbeat of every star adding to the quiet dance of space and time. Your eyelids grow heavier as your mind drifts on these thoughts. You picture the stars above as beads sewn into an infinite quilt, each one held in place by the folds and swells of space-time. You feel yourself sinking deeper into this fabric, your seconds elongating like soft threads pulled across a gentle loom. You wonder what happens when the fabric itself is torn or punctured. Could there be shortcuts through space-time, wormholes that fold distant points together? Could time flow backward in hidden corners of this cosmic quilt? These questions glow like small lanterns in your thoughts, promising new mysteries to explore. You take a slow, final breath, your heart beating softly in the hush of imagined starlight. You feel the cosmic cloth holding you, rocking you gently with every pulse of your own seconds. You sense how space-time's curves guide your journey, even now, as you drift into the quiet of sleep. You let the question linger in your mind, a soft thread unspooling into the dark. If the fabric of space-time can bend and ripple, could it one day tear, and what would lie beyond the edges of this cosmic quilt? You take a slow, final breath, your heart beating softly in the hush of imagined starlight. You feel the cosmic cloth holding you, rocking you gently with every pulse of your own seconds. You sense how space-time's curves guide your journey, even now, as you drift into the quiet of sleep. You let the question linger in your mind, a soft thread unspooling into the dark. If the fabric of space-time can bend and ripple, could it one day tear? And what would lie beyond the edges of this cosmic quilt? Your thoughts flutter like leaves caught in a soft breeze, and you find yourself picturing a single photon, a tiny packet of light, slipping effortlessly across the universe's dark expanse. You imagine it as a silver arrow moving with unwavering certainty, untouchable and constant. You feel your mind reaching for it, your curiosity chasing its trail through the silence. You picture yourself aboard your imagined spacecraft, engines humming quietly as you accelerate through the dark. Stars begin to stretch into long, thin lines, white threads pulled across black velvet. Space feels thick, almost syrupy as your speed increases. You sense time itself resisting your rush. Seconds lengthen, minutes expand, hours unfold like endless fields of quiet night. You remember Einstein's words, "Nothing with mass can reach the speed of light." Yet you yearn to catch up, to brush your hand against that speeding photon and ask it what it sees. You push your ship faster, engines roaring in muffled thunder. As you approach light speed, you feel a strange pressure, as though space itself is becoming heavy, thickening around your thoughts. You check your imagined clock and see its hands crawling slower with every breath you take. Each tick takes longer to arrive, each tock hesitates like a drop of rain frozen in mid-air. You wonder if your heart, still beating in your chest, will soon slow to a near stop, each thud a distant echo in the hollow halls of stretched time. You reach out in your mind to the photon gliding ahead. You feel its serene momentum, eternal and effortless. Light never grows tired, never slows, never ages. A photon's journey across the universe takes moments and millennia at once, depending on who is watching. To you, the photon is untouchable. To itself, it has no time at all. Its entire path, from the heart of a star to your eye, unfolds in an instant. You marvel at the paradox. From your perspective, the faster you go, the more your time stretches. But to the photon, time does not exist. Its journey is timeless, a perfect line drawn across space without seconds to count. You imagine trying to exist as light does, a being for whom time holds no meaning, whose entire existence is a single, eternal moment. You feel a quiet sadness knowing that, no matter how much energy you pour into your engines, you will never catch the photon. Every new burst of speed brings you closer, yet the gap remains infinite. Time for you continues to slow, approaching stillness as you near light speed. The universe outside becomes a tunnel of distorted light, stars bunching into a bright ring ahead and darkness swallowing the space behind. You let yourself drift deeper into the thought. If you could somehow reach the speed of light, time would stop entirely for you. Every moment of your life would freeze into a single point. There would be no before or after, no heartbeat or breath, only a perfect motionless now. But you know this is impossible. Your mass grows heavier with each increment of speed, demanding infinite energy to accelerate those final fractions toward light's pace. You imagine what it would feel like to hover at 99.999% the speed of light. You sense time stretching so thin that entire centuries pass outside your ship in the space of your single heartbeat. Earth spins on, generations rising and fading like morning mist. Stars live and die in the blink of your eye. Yet inside you remain unchanged, a quiet island of stretched seconds adrift in the roaring current of time. You close your eyes and picture the photon itself. You see it being born in the fiery heart of a star, emerging into space at the exact same speed it will always have, light speed, unaltered, eternal. From its own perspective, the photon's birth and arrival happen in the same instant. It does not see time stretch or space contract, it simply exists, slipping between stars with the quiet ease of thought. You think of how light sets the cosmic speed limit. No information, no signal, no traveller can move faster. You feel how this universal rule is both a boundary and a gift, ensuring that cause and effect flow in order, that time has meaning, that the stories of stars and people can unfold in a coherent tapestry. Without light's limit, moments might scatter into chaos, and the universe would lose its gentle rhythm. You imagine your ship's sensors as you near light speed. The light ahead shifts into fierce blues, wavelengths crushed into shorter, more energetic forms. Behind you, the light stretches into long, invisible reds. The universe becomes a tunnel of colours warped beyond recognition, a kaleidoscope of distorted starlight that feels both mesmerising and alien. You sense your body becoming impossibly heavy, your mass swelling with each fraction closer to light's pace. Energy poured into your engines goes not into more speed, but into this growing inertia, an invisible wall rising higher with every attempt to push faster. You realise this barrier is absolute, the universe's quiet law reminding you that light cannot be caught. You remember that even now your life depends on light. The warmth of your sun, the blue of Earth's sky, the green of leaves in the breeze, all of it carried on photons that travelled across space. Each morning's sunrise is a quiet message from light, a promise that time moves on and that moments still wait for you. You picture yourself pausing in your imagined pursuit, turning your gaze from the photon ahead to the swirling universe around you. Galaxies wheel in slow pirouettes, nebulae bloom like distant flowers, and the dark velvet of space stretches endlessly. You sense that while you cannot catch light, you can still marvel at the beauty it reveals, the quiet gift of time's passage illuminated by each glowing star. You let yourself feel small in this vastness, but not insignificant. Your curiosity, your longing to chase light, is part of what makes you human. You sense how every question you ask about speed, time and light ties you to the generations before and after you, those who looked up in wonder, those who dreamed of the stars. You breathe deeply, the hush of your imagined cockpit wrapping you like a blanket. You feel the quiet truth settle over you. To chase light is to chase the limit of time itself, to yearn for the impossible, to glimpse the edges of what reality allows. Even if you never catch it, the journey teaches you what it means to move through time and space, what it means to exist in a universe ruled by the soft, patient speed of light. Your thoughts drift to what might happen beyond speed, if somewhere, somehow, there is a way to step outside time entirely. Could there be places where light's speed limit does not apply? Could shortcuts exist that fold space so completely that distances vanish? The thought flickers like a delicate candle, lighting the path to your next wonder. You let your breath slow, each inhale carrying the quiet certainty that the photon's eternal race will continue, whether or not you follow. You sense how time still holds you gently in its flow, your heart still beating a patient rhythm, even as your mind skims the limits of light. You understand that you do not need to catch the photon to be part of the universe's story. You already are. Your eyelids grow heavier, your mind softening with each slow, measured breath. You feel the soft cradle of time holding you as you drift, the stars beyond your window winking in patient witness. The photon you chase becomes a symbol of curiosity itself, always just beyond reach, always calling you to explore. You let your thoughts quiet, feeling the warmth of your own heartbeat anchoring you in the gentle current of seconds. You sense that chasing light is less about the destination and more about the wonder the journey brings. You close your eyes, your last waking thought a soft question blooming in your mind. If light's speed marks the outer edge of time's flow, what secrets lie in the darkness beyond the light? Your last thought from the previous chapter still glows softly in your mind. If light's speed marks the outer edge of time's flow, what secrets lie in the darkness beyond the light? This question drifts with you as you slip deeper into the gentle hush of your imagined journey. You sense the universe holding its breath, as if waiting for you to discover what lies beyond the final limits of speed and time. You feel the darkness around you becoming thicker, a velvet ocean wrapping you in silence. The stars outside your window seem frozen in place, their light no longer drifting across the void but hovering motionless. It is as if the entire cosmos has slowed with you, each second stretching into wide, quiet planes of thought. You recall how, as you approach the speed of light in your imagination, time for you nearly stopped. Now you feel yourself drifting even closer to that unreachable boundary, the horizon of time itself. Here, time does not simply slow. It lingers on the edge of stillness, seconds unfolding so slowly that they seem to hold eternity within them. You picture your ship gliding toward a dark horizon, the event horizon of a black hole. You imagine the ship moving slower and slower as it nears that invisible boundary, your heartbeats drifting farther apart, each one a quiet bell tolling in a cathedral of endless night. You feel a sense of awe that time can slow so completely here, that the same seconds ticking on Earth now stretch into soft, unending echoes. You close your eyes and imagine the star's light bending steeply around the black hole. Their images smear into glowing rings known as Einstein rings, wrapping the dark heart like a delicate crown. This is the horizon of time, a place where gravity bends space so deeply that time itself nearly freezes. The closer you drift to this horizon, the slower your seconds move. And if you could perch on the edge forever, you might see the universe's entire future unfold in a single, endless moment. You marvel at the paradox. To someone far from the black hole, it would look as if your ship slows to a halt at the horizon, never quite crossing, frozen into a place for eternity. Yet for you, time feels normal. Your heart still beating gently, your thoughts still flowing softly. You realize that reality here depends on where you stand. that time's rhythm is not a single melody, but a chorus of countless perspectives. You let your breath deepen, feeling the soft pull of the black hole's gravity, even in your imagination. You sense how the horizon is not a solid wall, but a boundary of time itself, a place beyond which nothing, not even light, can return. This horizon marks the ultimate limit, the edge of possibility, the point where time and space curve into themselves so tightly that they become a quiet, dark secret. You think of how the event horizon is like a waterfall in space-time. You picture yourself floating above a river, its current growing faster as you near the falls. You can paddle away if you're still above the edge, but the moment you cross it, the current becomes inescapable. You wonder what happens once you drift past the horizon, what lies inside, hidden from all eyes, wrapped in darkness deeper than any night. You imagine the immense gravity stretching your seconds, your heartbeat slowing like a metronome winding down. Yet your thoughts remain clear and patient, like leaves floating on a still pond. You sense how time here becomes a pool of syrup, every moment thickening into a soft, eternal hush. You feel the stars beyond you continuing their bright dance, but their light now takes longer and longer to reach you, as if the universe itself is slipping away. You picture the clock on your ship's console ticking slower with every meter you approach the horizon. Each second feels like a minute, then an hour, then a quiet century. The numbers glow softly, hesitant to change, as if they too are caught in time stretching. You reach out to touch the glass, feeling it cool under your fingertips, each movement slow and deliberate, like painting gentle strokes on a canvas of darkness. You think of the signals your ship sends back to Earth. Far away, your loved ones see the messages growing further apart, the intervals stretching until they fade into silence. They watch your image freeze on their screens, a still figure hovering near the black hole, forever paused at the brink. You feel the quiet ache of this separation, knowing that even light itself cannot bridge the chasm you have crossed. You let your thoughts drift to the photons escaping from just outside the event horizon. They carry the last glimpses of anything falling in, whispering stories of objects stretched and slowed until they vanish from sight. You realize that these whispers are all anyone far away will ever know of what happens near the horizon, the final bright notes before the universe's silence claims them. You breathe deeply, your chest rising and falling in the stretched seconds of this imagined place. You sense how time slowing is not just a trick of clocks, but a fundamental change in reality itself. Near the horizon, every process, from atoms vibrating to light oscillating, slows together. Nothing can hurry here. Every moment becomes a soft pool of endless waiting. You remember how Stephen Hawking proposed that black holes are not entirely silent. You picture them releasing faint whispers of heat, Hawking radiation, particles slipping from the horizon's grip in a quiet evaporation that takes longer than the age of the universe. You feel a shiver of wonder that even in this place where time nearly stops, there is still motion, still change, still a fragile connection to the universe outside. You imagine yourself standing on the very edge of the event horizon, balanced perfectly on time's tightrope. You look ahead into the black hole's interior, a place where space and time have traded roles, where all paths lead inward, where the future itself points to the singularity. You feel your curiosity pulling you forward, even as your heart whispers a gentle caution. You let your mind wander to the possibility of wormholes, shortcuts that might exist beyond the horizon, tunnels linking distant points in space-time. You imagine drifting through one, emerging far across the galaxy or even another universe. You feel both wonder and doubt, knowing that these ideas remain unproven, shimmering on the horizon of science like mirages in the desert of understanding. You sense the stars beyond the black hole now as distant, timeless watchers. Their light, once familiar and warm, has become faint and red-shifted, struggling to escape the curved space around you. You feel the hush of eternity pressing softly on your thoughts, a quiet lullaby sung by the slowest seconds you have ever known. You breathe deeply again, letting your heart's patient thud remind you that you are still here, still part of time's river. You sense that even at the horizon's edge, you carry your own clock, your own seconds, your own quiet story. You understand that time does not end here. It only changes, curling into shapes so strange that they defy ordinary imagination. You think of the event horizon not as an ending, but as a threshold, a place where physics itself becomes a mystery, where the known world fades into questions waiting to be asked. You feel the soft thrill of knowing that even if you can never return, you are standing at the doorway to something larger than yourself, something vast and beautiful beyond measure. You let your thoughts slow, your breath quieting into a gentle rhythm. You feel your mind relaxing into the stretched seconds, each heartbeat a slow bell tolling in the cathedral of deep space. You sense how time's hush becomes a comforting blanket, wrapping you in patient darkness as the universe waits with you. You wonder what it would mean if you could see beyond the horizon, if somehow a window could open to show what lies within the black hole's hidden heart. Would you glimpse the birth of new universes, the final moments of dying stars, or something stranger, something no one has ever dreamed? You feel the question glowing softly in your chest, like an ember in the quiet dark. What lies beyond the horizon where time stands still? You sense this wonder reaching out to the next chapter, like a gentle hand inviting you forward into mysteries still waiting in the shadows of the universe. You feel the question from your last thought still pulsing softly in your mind, like an ember in the quiet dark. What lies beyond the horizon where time stands still? You sense this wonder reaching out, a gentle hand leading you to the next mystery waiting in the cosmic night. You breathe deeply, letting the hush of space settle around you. The black hole's event horizon now drifts behind you in your imagination, a dark boundary fading into the distance. Ahead, the stars return, pinpricks of patient light suspended in a sky that feels endless and calm. Your thoughts drift toward the light itself, the quiet, unwavering messenger that threads every story in the universe. You remember how, no matter where you are or how fast you move, the speed of light remains the same. Even as you chased photons in your imagined ship, even as you neared time's slowing edge, the photon's pace never wavered. Light's constant speed is an unbreakable law, a universal truth, woven into the very fabric of space-time. You picture yourself floating through space, drifting slowly in the darkness. A beam of starlight passes by, each photon moving at exactly the same speed it always has. Whether you fly toward it or away, light never speeds up or slows down. Its constancy is absolute, a silent promise of order in a universe otherwise ruled by change. You sense how this rule is not simply a curiosity, but the foundation of reality itself. The unchanging speed of light gives time and space their structure, defining how seconds and distances are measured. Without it, clocks would lose their meaning and the cosmos would unravel into chaos. You feel a quiet gratitude for light's steadfastness, a comfort in the certainty it offers. You remember the famous thought experiments of Einstein, who imagined chasing a beam of light across the emptiness. He saw that no matter how fast you run, the beam always moves ahead at the same pace. He realized this constancy demanded a radical new understanding of space and time. If light's speed cannot change, then time and space themselves must shift to keep the universe in harmony. You picture yourself moving faster and faster in your ship again, stars blurring around you. As your speed increases, your time slows and your lengths contract, but light still races away at the same unwavering speed. The universe adjusts itself, bending time, shrinking space, all to preserve the constancy of light's journey. You marvel at this dance of reality, a choreography that keeps the cosmic order intact. You imagine a lighthouse on a distant planet, its beams sweeping slowly across a frozen landscape. Each ray of light leaves the lamp at the same perfect speed, indifferent to the world around it. If you stood on that planet or soared away at nearly light speed, the light would always reach you with the same steady grace. You feel how this unchanging rhythm is the universe's quiet heartbeat. You let your thoughts drift to the idea of causality, the rule that causes must come before effects, that actions lead to consequences in a clear order. You sense how light's constant speed protects this order, setting the ultimate limit on how fast information can travel. No message, no signal, no touch can move faster than light. This law preserves the sequence of moments, the flow of time you depend on. You breathe softly, picturing how even now, the photons from distant stars have crossed gulfs of space for millions of years to reach your eyes. Each one carries a story of the past, a glimpse into ancient moments when galaxies were young. Light's constant speed makes these stories possible, letting you look back in time each time you gaze at the night sky. You sense how the universe itself seems to respect this limit. Even the most violent explosions, supernovae, quasars, gamma-ray bursts, send their light racing outward at the same patient pace, never exceeding it, never falling behind. Light's constancy holds even in the fiercest storms of creation and destruction. You imagine yourself surrounded by a soft bubble of light speed limits, a boundary expanding from every moment you exist. Each heartbeat sends ripples of potential outward at light speed, defining what places you could ever reach or influence. The future you can touch, the past you can remember, all unfold within this quiet sphere growing at 299,722 kilometers per second. You picture the light cone of your life, the spread of light from every moment, reaching farther with each second. You sense how this cone marks your possible future, a region of space-time where your actions can ripple outward. Beyond it, the universe exists but lies forever out of reach, waiting in the silence beyond light's patient waves. You think of the countless other cones spreading from every star, every atom, every heartbeat across the cosmos. Each cone marks a private horizon of influence, each one expanding at the same constant speed, weaving a tapestry of connected moments stretching across the universe. You feel how these cones overlap and intersect, binding everything together in a quiet web of light. You breathe deeply again, the rhythm of your chest rising and falling with the slow, steady certainty of light's pace. You sense how every photon that touches you is part of this vast pattern, a silent courier, delivering whispers of stars and galaxies far beyond your own world. You feel the comfort of knowing that light always follows its rule, a law so constant it becomes a lullaby for the restless mind. You remember the famous Michelson-Morley experiment, where scientists tried to measure changes in light's speed as Earth moved through space. They found none. Light's constancy held firm, proving that there was no hidden ether, no preferred backdrop, only the pure, silent void where light moves with the same calm swiftness in every direction. You sense how this discovery changed everything, unlocking the theory of relativity and revealing that space and time bend to keep light's speed steady. You marvel at how a simple question, "Does light's speed ever change?" led to an answer that redefined reality itself. You imagine walking through a quiet forest at night, a lantern in your hand casting a warm beam. No matter how you turn, no matter how fast you walk, the light travels ahead at its constant pace. You feel the quiet peace of this certainty, a rule so gentle yet so powerful that it holds every star in its place. You think of how light's constancy shapes your daily life, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the reflection of your eyes in a mirror, the flicker of a candle flame dancing in the dark. Each moment depends on photons moving exactly as they always do, unchanging and faithful in their journey. You let your thoughts drift to how light defines the universe's ultimate speed limit. Nothing with mass can catch it. Nothing can outpace it. This rule keeps the future safe from paradoxes, keeps time's arrow pointing forward. You feel the quiet strength of this law, a cosmic guardian preserving the harmony of existence. You sense how light's unwavering speed creates beauty too. The colours of a sunset, the sparkle of distant stars, the rainbow forming after rain. Each hue emerges from light's patient dance, each wave of colour a note in the universe's quiet song. You feel gratitude for this hidden order, a secret melody that sings beneath every moment. You breathe softly once more, your mind quieting into the steady pulse of light's constant rhythm. You sense the universe exhaling with you, stars blinking calmly as you drift on the slow waves of thought. You understand that while so much around you changes, light's speed remains a promise, a silent anchor holding time and space together. You feel your eyelids growing heavier, your heart slowing into a gentle lull. You imagine yourself lying beneath the stars, wrapped in the hush of night, feeling light's quiet warmth reaching you from suns born long before you. You let the thoughts settle. In a cosmos full of storms and change, light's constancy is a quiet gift, a lantern that never wavers. You wonder softly what new mysteries unfold from this constant light. What stories wait beyond the shimmering veil of photons? What hidden truths lie wrapped in the patient speed that guards every secret in the dark? You feel this question blooming gently in your mind, like a candle flame dancing in a silent room, inviting you forward into the next chapter of your journey. You feel the last question from Chapter 8 glowing softly within you, like a candle flame dancing in a silent room, inviting you forward into the next chapter of your journey. As you breathe deeply, you let your mind drift upward, rising gently from the hush of Earth's night into the silent orbits where satellites trace delicate arcs above the sleeping world. You imagine the darkness thinning into a soft blue glow as you climb higher. The curve of Earth appears beneath you, a quiet sphere wrapped in thin swirls of cloud, the first hints of dawn brushing its edges with pale gold. You drift alongside a small gleaming satellite, its solar panels spread like wings catching sunlight that never sets in orbit. Here, above the rushing winds and shifting seas, time itself moves to a different rhythm. You picture a tiny clock ticking inside the satellite, each beat of its second-hand precise and quiet. This clock does not measure seconds the way yours do on the ground below. You sense how the satellite, circling Earth at thousands of kilometers per hour, experiences time slightly differently than you do. Its speed and altitude stretch and squeeze its seconds in ways that Einstein's relativity foretold, and you realize that even your morning routine depends on this cosmic dance. You imagine the GPS satellites overhead, dozens of them drifting in quiet patterns far above. Each one carries an atomic clock, a device so precise it loses only a billionth of a second over years. These clocks tick out signals that travel down to your phone, your car, your ship at sea. The timing of these signals must be perfect, for in every tiny error hides the possibility of a missed turn or a lost traveller. You breathe softly, picturing how every morning when you check your map, you are listening to whispers from space, quiet beeps of time sent down from satellites dancing with relativity. Their clocks run a bit faster than clocks on Earth's surface because they sit higher in the weaker pull of gravity, yet their great speed makes time tick more slowly. These two effects, the slowing of time by speed and its speeding by distance from Earth's mass, tug in opposite directions, balancing delicately. You let your thoughts slow into this rhythm. You sense how scientists must account for both time dilation effects, so your GPS can tell you where you are with meter-level accuracy. Without these tiny adjustments, your location would drift kilometers off every day, and the world would become a mapless maze. You imagine standing on a quiet forest trail, your phone glowing softly in your hand. Above you, satellites you cannot see are sending their steady beeps of time, their clocks ticking in orbit. You marvel at how these unseen timekeepers guide you through the forest, down busy streets, across oceans. In their quiet precision, you hear the soft echo of relativity touching your daily life. You think of how these satellites move in perfect clockwork, their orbits arranged so you are always in sight of at least 4. By comparing the time it takes for each satellite signal to reach you, your device calculates your location. This trilateration depends entirely on the constancy of light's speed and the delicate differences in time caused by their motion. You realize how your simple blue dot on a digital map rests on the shoulders of Einstein's theories. You breathe deeper, picturing a satellite's clock as it circles Earth twice in a single day, ticking away microseconds that stretch and contract with each orbit. Scientists on the ground measure these shifts with extraordinary care, adjusting the clock so their seconds match yours on Earth's surface. You feel a quiet awe that these invisible corrections make it possible for billions of people to navigate their lives each day. You sense how these orbital clocks experience the universe differently. From their perch high above, they see Earth's surface spinning below, the continents sliding patiently through night and day. For them, sunrises and sunsets happen every 45 minutes, time's tempo quickened by their swift paths around the globe. Yet in their own clocks, seconds flow gently on, each beat carrying both the stillness of space and the rush of orbital speed. You let your thoughts drift back to Earth, imagining the master clocks that keep time on the ground. These clocks, deep in quiet rooms, compare their steady beats to the clocks in orbit, calculating the tiny differences that accumulate as satellites fly overhead. You feel the soft pulse of this network, an invisible web of time stitching space and Earth together. You think of how this network's heartbeat reaches beyond GPS. Financial systems, communication networks, power grids all rely on precise time signals shared between clocks across the world. The same gentle adjustments that keep your GPS accurate also let the world's systems hum together in quiet harmony. In every beep from orbit, you hear not just your own journey, but the connected breath of a global civilization. You picture the first satellite clocks carried into space decades ago, ticking uncertainly as scientists learned how time changed beyond Earth's atmosphere. These early experiments confirmed Einstein's predictions. Clocks in orbit really do drift compared to those on the ground. Each test built the confidence to rely on relativity for the technology you use every day. You let your breath match the slow orbit of your imagined satellite. Each inhale and exhale a patient swing through darkness and light. You sense how the satellite's journey is a pendulum that never stops, a clock second-hand sweeping around Earth, counting seconds stretched by gravity and speed. You marvel at how the clocks aboard satellites live in a place where Earth's gravity is weaker, where space-time itself is less curved. Their seconds are longer than those experienced at sea level, each moment slightly more spacious. You feel how this subtle difference carries a powerful truth. Time is not the same everywhere. It is shaped by the very curves of the world beneath you. You imagine drifting alongside a satellite at dawn, the sun rising in a swift arc over the curve of Earth, shadows fleeing across oceans and mountains below. The satellite's clock ticks on, each second marked by the quiet hum of atomic vibrations. You feel the serenity of this orbiting timekeeper, holding steady in the shifting skies. You think of how mistaken these clocks, even just a few billionths of a second, would ripple out into lost ships, confused planes, delayed rescues. You sense the quiet responsibility carried by these ticking hearts in orbit, each one a soft guardian of precision in a world that depends on their unwavering dance. You breathe softly, letting your thoughts settle into the rhythm of these clocks. You realize how their existence shows that time is not an absolute river flowing the same everywhere, but a quilt of streams moving at different paces, sewn together by the rules of relativity. Each clock in orbit whispers this truth, a soft chorus singing of time's gentle complexity. You imagine the satellites circling on paths that look stable but drift over years as Earth's gravity tugs them slightly. Teams on the ground track each shift, updating the satellite's positions and clock corrections, a quiet ballet of humans and machines keeping time in harmony. You feel how this partnership between minds and clocks is a triumph of patience and precision. You picture yourself lying in bed at night, phone resting beside you. Outside, dozens of satellites pass overhead in the silent dark, their clocks ticking faithfully. You let yourself feel connected to this web of time, comforted by the certainty of each award, marking your place on Earth. You breathe deeper, imagining the satellite's gentle beeps of time as lullabies drifting down through the night sky. Each beep is a note in a universal melody, a quiet song of relativity carried on photons from orbit to ground, helping you find your way even in the darkness. You let your eyelids grow heavier, your heart slowing into the soft cadence of these distant clocks. You feel gratitude for the quiet brilliance that lets you navigate your world with ease, the hidden gift of physics shaping your every journey. You wonder softly what it would mean to build even better clocks, one so precise they could sense the tiniest tremors of time itself. Clocks that could one day reveal the subtle ripples of gravitational waves or the smallest changes in Earth's gravity. You sense this question blooming like a delicate flower in the dark, a promise that there are still mysteries to measure, still secrets of time waiting to unfold. You feel the last question from Chapter 9 lingering in your thoughts, like a delicate flower opening slowly in the dark. What secrets of time still wait to unfold? You breathe deeply, letting this curiosity carry you gently into the next chapter of your journey. As you drift in your imagined ship, you sense the quiet pull of possibility stretching ahead, the promise that time itself can be folded, leaped, and slipped through like pages in a book. You picture yourself accelerating once again, your ship humming softly as its engines push you closer to the speed of light. The stars ahead begin to shift, their light bending and warping, blues deepening and reds fading. The universe outside your window seems to tilt as if you are leaning into time's current. You feel your seconds slowing even as your ship's speed grows, each heartbeat taking longer and longer, each breath becoming a patient wave in an ever-quieting sea. You sense how this slowing is not an illusion but a gift of physics. The faster you move, the more time stretches behind you. You imagine Earth receding in your wake, clocks there spinning faster and faster compared to your own. What feels like a few hours aboard your ship becomes weeks, months, then years back home. You understand that you are slipping through the future itself, leaping ahead in time with every beat of your patient heart. You breathe softly, letting your thoughts settle into this strange, beautiful truth. You picture yourself drifting through a quiet interstellar night, your ship coasting near light speed, stars smearing into streaks of silver as decades pass on Earth. Cities grow, crumble, and rise again in your absence. Trees you once knew sprout, stretch to the sky, and fall. Children yet unborn live entire lives, their laughter and tears unfolding in the quickening world you leave behind. You feel the bittersweet ache of this journey. Time's gift is also a quiet theft. You move into the future, but the moments you skip are ones you can never reclaim. You imagine waving goodbye to friends who will age and fade while you remain nearly unchanged. You sense the quiet loneliness that time dilation brings, a separation deeper than distance, a gulf measured in years instead of kilometers. You remember the famous twin paradox, a thought experiment imagining one twin staying on Earth while the other travels at near light speeds. When the travelling twin returns, they are younger than their sibling, decades younger perhaps, though they experienced only a short trip. You feel this paradox settle into your mind like a soft stone dropped in a still pond, ripples of wonder spreading through your thoughts. You picture the clocks ticking aboard your ship, each second measured carefully as you slip forward through time. Outside, Earth's clocks spin faster, their hands sweeping through hours, days, and years as you coast quietly ahead. You realize how this difference is not a trick of perception, but a truth of reality. Time itself bends for you, granting you a one-way ticket into the future. You imagine the Earth as a bright sphere receding behind you, its colours softening into a pale blue dot against the darkness. You sense the lives unfolding there, birthdays celebrated, storms weathered, seasons turning over and over as your ship glides silently on. Each heartbeat carries you further from the world you knew, deeper into a future waiting with quiet arms. You let your thoughts drift to the possibility of returning. You picture your ship turning around after years at near light speed, coasting back to Earth. When you arrive, the world you left has changed beyond recognition. New languages may fill the streets. New stars may light the night. New stories may shape the quiet hearts of strangers. You wonder how it would feel to step off your ship into a place that remembers you only through old stories or faded photographs. You breathe softly, feeling the gentle sorrow and quiet wonder of time travel. You realize that to leap through time is to glimpse the universe's patient unfolding, to see centuries compressed into moments. Yet it is also to lose the chance to share those moments with others, to stand apart from the flow of lives bound together by shared seconds. You sense how this paradox mirrors the beauty of physics itself. The rules of relativity do not just allow such journeys, they require them. They promise that near light speed, time slows for you while the universe races ahead. You feel gratitude for the quiet elegance of these laws, a comfort in knowing that even time's strange gifts arise from order, not chaos. You picture yourself looking out the window of your ship, watching stars drift past like grains of sand in a slow, silent storm. Light from distant galaxies flickers in strange hues, stretched and compressed by your speed. You sense the quiet majesty of a universe that bends time and space, that allows you to slip through years like pages in a book read in a single breath. You think of what it would mean to explore the stars this way, to visit distant worlds and return to Earth millennia later, bearing stories of places no one has yet dreamed. You feel both the excitement and the deep loneliness of this possibility. You realize that time travel to the future is real, but it comes with a cost. You leave behind everyone and everything you know. You imagine drifting past a dying star, its light shifting red as it sheds its final breaths. You feel the quiet sadness of seeing such endings unfold in moments, the collapse of suns that took billions of years reaching you in the soft hush of your slowing seconds. You understand how slipping through time reveals the universe's grandeur, but also its impermanence. You let your breath deepen, your thoughts slowing into the patient rhythm of your journey. You picture the future Earth continuing its dance, continents drifting, climates changing, species rising and falling, all while you hover outside this current, moving forward in time like a quiet observer watching history unfold at high speed. You sense how, even now, astronauts aboard the International Space Station experience a taste of this time slip. Moving at 28,000 kilometers per hour, they age a tiny bit slower than those on Earth. Though the difference is only milliseconds over months, it proves that time dilation is not just a theory but a reality woven into each orbit above our heads. You breathe softly, feeling the quiet connection between these fast-moving travelers and your imagined journey near light speed. You sense how the same laws that stretch their seconds to fractions also allow you to leap centuries in your dreams, stepping into futures that unfold faster than your heart can beat. You wonder gently what it would feel like to meet someone in this far future, someone who grew up in a world you cannot imagine, someone who sees you as a visitor from an age long gone. You sense the wonder of sharing stories across time, of learning how humanity changes, adapts, and endures. You picture yourself finally slowing your ship, turning back toward the sun. You sense how your seconds start to match Earth's once more, time's rivers merging after their long divergence. You feel the quiet poignancy of returning, of stepping into a world that moved on without you, of seeing new stars shining in the same sky. You breathe deeply, letting your eyelids grow heavier as your imagined ship coasts quietly through the darkness. You feel gratitude for the strange, delicate gift of time dilation, for the way it lets you see both the fragility and resilience of moments, for the way it opens your heart to the quiet beauty of time's endless unfolding. You wonder softly what it would mean to go even faster, to touch the very edge of light speed, to see entire eras bloom and fade in a single breath. You sense this question lingering like a soft note in the dark, inviting you forward into mysteries still waiting beyond the silent curtain of time. You feel the soft note of your last question still resonating in your mind, a quiet invitation lingering beyond the curtain of time. You breathe deeply, allowing the thought of touching the very edge of light speed to ripple through your imagination. As your heart settles into the slow rhythm of your journey, you begin to sense the delicate shapes that motion carves into reality, the quiet poetry hiding in every heartbeat and every kilometer swept beneath your imagined ship. You picture yourself floating once more through the darkness, your ship coasting near the ultimate speed allowed by nature. The stars stretch and bend around you, their light shifting and blending into streaks of blue and white. The familiar sky transforms into a tunnel of swirling brilliance. You sense how motion, invisible and silent, sculpts the universe into strange, beautiful forms. You breathe softly, letting your thoughts drift to the idea that speed is not just distance covered over time, but a force that bends time itself. As you race faster, seconds stretch, space contracts, and the world outside your window folds into something new. You realize this is not chaos, but a quiet, precise ballet guided by physics, a poem written in the language of relativity. You imagine the hands of a clock slowing as your ship accelerates, each tick lingering like a drop of rain falling in slow motion. You sense how your seconds are not the same as those of someone waiting for you back on Earth. Their clocks spin faster, their days rush forward, while yours unspool gently stretched by your motion. You feel the beauty of this difference, the way it reveals time as a flexible living thing. You picture yourself in a train speeding past a station, the platform blurring into colours and shapes. You feel how this simple moment hints at a deeper truth. Motion changes your experience of space and time. Even at everyday speeds, time's poetry begins to show itself, the subtle shifting of seconds that becomes profound as you near light's barrier. You let your thoughts drift to the twin paradox again, the travelling twin slipping through years in a heartbeat, while the stay-at-home twin grows old. You feel how this story captures the delicate dance between speed and time, a reminder that reality holds secrets far stranger than the stories we tell. You breathe deeper, imagining yourself walking on Earth's surface, every step a quiet motion through space-time. Even standing still, you move with Earth as it spins, orbits the sun and races through the galaxy. You realize you are always in motion, always part of a cosmic waltz that stretches seconds and folds space around you. You sense the quiet elegance in how nature preserves the speed of light as a universal constant, weaving speed, time and distance into an unbreakable tapestry. Faster journeys are not merely about going places quickly. They reshape time's flow, letting you slip gently into the future or watch the world outside age like a fast-forwarded film. You imagine light itself as a dancer moving at the ultimate tempo, the fastest possible beat of the universe's heart. Everything else moves slower, always falling short of light's perfect speed. You feel how this unreachable pace gives light its timelessness, letting photons born in the hearts of stars cross billions of years without aging. You picture the universe as a grand stage where every object in motion writes a poem with its path, a verse marked by the bending of time and space. You feel how each comet streaking through the solar system, each satellite gliding above Earth, each galaxy spinning in the dark, contributes a line to this silent, elegant poem. You think of how GPS satellites, planes crossing oceans, and even the clocks in your phone whisper this poetry into your life each day. Each depends on understanding how speed reshapes time, how even small motions accumulate tiny differences in seconds that add up to precision or chaos. You breathe softly, letting yourself marvel at how physics turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Speed, something you've felt in cars, trains, or airplanes, reveals a glimpse of the deeper fabric of reality, a truth that time itself responds to your motion, adjusting quietly with every step or leap. You sense how this knowledge is not cold mathematics but a gentle revelation. It shows you that reality is flexible, that moments can stretch or shrink depending on how you move. You feel comfort in knowing the universe is patient, willing to let time yield to your journey, even if only by fractions of seconds at everyday speeds. You picture yourself drifting through the outer reaches of the solar system, your ship crossing paths with lonely asteroids and icy comets. At these speeds, time for you and time for Earth begin to drift apart more noticeably. You feel how this difference, imperceptible at first, grows into years and decades as your velocity nears light speed. You let your breath deepen into the rhythm of your imagined flight. You sense how the shapes of stars, the colours of light, and the very tick of your clock become part of the poem of speed. The faster you move, the more space tilts, the more time slows, until you exist in a world sculpted into strange, quiet forms by your motion. You think of astronauts who have lived aboard the International Space Station, their days moving slightly slower than those on Earth. Though their difference is only milliseconds, it proves that the poetry of speed is real, that time dilation is not fantasy but a subtle truth woven into every orbit. You feel gratitude for the scientists and explorers who first noticed this quiet stretching of time, who crafted experiments and built clocks sensitive enough to hear the slow music of seconds slipping differently through the world. Their work lets you navigate the Earth with precision, lets planes arrive on time, lets you trust that the universe's rules remain steady and beautiful. You imagine Earth's cities glowing below as you orbit at high speed, each cluster of lights telling stories of lives unfolding at their own pace. You sense how, in every spinning satellite and every streaking meteor, the poetry of speed continues, writing new verses in the dark above sleeping towns. You let your thoughts drift to the possibility of journeys beyond our solar system, ships built to slip through decades in a single heartbeat, reaching distant stars while centuries pass on Earth. You feel both the wonder and the quiet ache of these possibilities, knowing that each leap through time and space comes with the price of moments lost, of connections left behind. You breathe softly, imagining yourself returning from such a journey, stepping onto a changed Earth where generations have lived and died, where old forests have grown tall or disappeared, where rivers have shifted and new constellations grace the night sky. You feel the bittersweet beauty of being a traveller through time as much as through space. You realize that speed's power is not just to carry you far, but to remind you of time's preciousness, that every slow moment you spend with those you love, every lingering sunset you watch, every gentle breath you share, is a gift speed cannot buy back. You sense how the poetry of speed is not only in grand journeys, but also in the small motions of your days, the way your heartbeat changes with excitement, the way your feet carry you across a room, the way your mind races through memories. Each of these motions sculpts time, however subtly, adding quiet verses to your life's unfolding story. You let your eyelids grow heavier as you picture your imagined ship slowing, stars returning to steady points outside your window, the universe quieting around you. You feel gratitude for the gentle truths speed reveals, for the soft beauty hidden in physics rules, for the quiet comfort that even as you rush, the universe bends patiently to keep time in balance. You wonder softly what it would mean to stop moving entirely, to stand still in a universe always in motion, to see if time itself would pause with you or flow around your stillness like a river passing a silent stone. You sense this question blooming gently in your thoughts, like a soft lantern lighting the path into mysteries still waiting beyond the hush of your journey. You picture the blue curve of Earth growing larger beneath your ship, oceans glinting like liquid sapphires in the dawn, continents wrapped in soft clouds drifting patiently over forests and fields. You feel the gravity of home reaching out to you, an invisible hand pulling you back to the familiar embrace of Earth's gentle spin. You sense time rushing to meet you, seconds resuming their steady, comforting rhythm as your speed slows. You breathe softly, letting the weight of time settle over you like a warm blanket. Every second feels full, present, tangible, a quiet gift after the stretched, languid moments of your near-light journey. You sense how the clocks on Earth beat with a pace you once knew, now made precious by your odyssey through time's strange elasticity. You imagine your ship slipping into the thin upper layers of Earth's atmosphere, the sky deepening from velvet black to a soft glowing blue. Wisps of air brush against your hull, whispering the promise of homecoming. Below, cities slowly wake to morning light, their streets glowing like delicate threads of gold weaving together lives, moments, and dreams. You let your thoughts drift to the idea that each tick of a clock on Earth is not a simple beat, but a miracle of cosmic balance. You remember the stretching of seconds near light speed, the slowing of time under the grip of gravity, the delicate dance of clocks aboard satellites. You realize that every second you now feel on Earth is shaped by these quiet universal rules, that time itself is a living map of the universe's deepest secrets. You breathe deeper, picturing yourself stepping out of your imagined ship into the soft dawn of Earth. The air carries scents you almost forgot, fresh rain on soil, blossoms opening in the morning sun, the subtle warmth of life filling every breath. You sense how time flows here with gentle constancy, each second layered with memories, each minute an invitation to live fully. You think of the forests growing slowly through decades, the rivers carving patient paths across continents, the mountains rising and wearing down in rhythms measured by eons. You feel a quiet awe that you return to a world where time's pace is perfect for life. Delicate balance allowing stars to warm planets, water to shape landscapes, hearts to share moments. You let your mind rest on how your journey through time has changed you. You remember the poetry of speed, the soft stretching of seconds, the quiet loneliness of slipping through the future, and the beauty of clocks dancing with relativity. You realize that even as you step back into Earth's steady flow, these truths remain with you, like gentle lanterns lighting your understanding. You imagine walking through a city waking at dawn, streets washed in the soft gold of sunrise. People move around you, each carrying their own ticking heartbeats, each a traveller through time at Earth's gentle pace. You sense the quiet miracle in these ordinary seconds, how every smile, every word, every breath happens against the backdrop of a universe where time can bend, but still returns you home. You breathe softly, feeling your own heart settling into Earth's rhythm. You sense the warmth of time itself wrapping around you, familiar yet forever changed. Each second feels precious, carrying the weight of distant stars and the patience of cosmic laws that let you return. You know that time on Earth is neither absolute nor fragile. It is a resilient flow that endures storms, holds memories, and welcomes you back after even the longest journeys. You think of the clocks ticking quietly in schools, train stations, kitchens, and cabin towers, each one part of a vast invisible web connecting people through shared seconds. You feel gratitude for this shared time, a silent bond that lets lives intertwine, lets stories unfold side by side, lets love grow across days and years. You let your breath deepen, imagining the moon overhead, its phases marking time in silver arcs across the sky. You sense how for millennia humans have looked up at this patient companion, measuring months, telling stories, singing lullabies under its light. You realize that in coming home, you return not just to Earth's seconds, but to humanity's timeless traditions of watching, wondering, and celebrating time's gentle march. You picture yourself sitting by a quiet window at night, stars winking beyond dark branches. You feel the Earth's slow spin carrying you eastward, the soft ticking of a clock on your table matching your heartbeat. You sense how time's mysteries still whisper in the dark, how even at rest you are part of a cosmic journey, Earth itself a ship sailing through space-time. You think of how your odyssey through time has taught you that seconds are not fixed, that moments can stretch and compress, that time is a living fabric woven by speed, gravity, and light. Yet you also know that Earth's familiar seconds give life a comforting cadence, a chance to savor joys, heal wounds, and share stories. You let your eyelids grow heavier as you imagine drifting off to sleep in your own bed, the steady rhythm of Earth's time flowing softly around you. You feel gratitude that this time, shaped by the universe's deepest laws, lets you rest, dream, and wake to new days. You sense the quiet strength in knowing you can trust time's flow, even as you carry the wonder of its flexibility within your heart. You breathe softly, letting your thoughts slow into the gentle waves of sleep. You feel how every second you live now is touched by the truths you discovered, that light's constancy, gravity's pull, and speed's quiet power shape every moment you spend with those you love. You know that these seconds, while ordinary on the surface, are miracles made possible by the same forces that bend stars and stretch time itself. You wonder gently what future journeys await humanity, what new clocks we will carry into the cosmos, what distant worlds we will measure, what quiet seconds we will share across light years. You sense this question blooming softly in your thoughts, like a warm ember glowing at the edge of sleep, a quiet promise that time's mysteries will continue to invite curious hearts to explore.